I want to thank the music team and Gary Lynn Floyd for our music today, and for Gloria and I for the beautiful reading. We're in week 5 of our 8-week series on the 5 agreements. Each week is independent, and all the weeks are part of the 5 agreement series are available on our website and on our YouTube channel. In this series, we're learning to break those dysfunctional agreements that we made with ourselves when we were growing up, and to adopt a new set of beliefs which allow us to live from that place which reflects love for ourselves and for others. And today our topic is the 4th agreement. Always do your best. We've already examined agreement 1, which is being impeccable with our word. Agreement 2, which is taking nothing personally. And agreement 3, which is not making assumptions. So today we look at always doing our best and releasing any judgment that might arise when we feel that we fall short of that. Our series question is, are you willing to examine what you believe? And our question for the week is this: what is that one choice that you can make today to always do your best, to live in the present moment and be present to all of your life, and to forgive yourself when you fall short of perfection? One more time. What's the one choice you can make today to always do your best, to live in the present moment and be present to all that is your life, and to forgive yourself when you fall short of perfection? I know that my choices support all who I am and everything I do. So right now, I'm just going to invite you to take a breath and decide for the next few minutes that all of your choices support all of who you are and everything you do. I invite you just for a moment to remember something that you did very well and that you were proud of how it turned out. It could be as simple as a meal you made for friends that turned out fabulous. It looked great, it tasted great, and the company was wonderful during the dinner. Or perhaps you wrote a short note to a friend to let them know how much you cared about them, and you found out what a difference it made in their life. How does it feel to remember that experience of doing your best? And now, just really quickly, remember a time when you felt you could have done better. How did that feel? Don Miguel reminds us, everything is alive and changing all the time. So your best will sometimes be high quality, and other times it will not be as good. Your best depends on if you're happy or sad, feeling well rested or tired, sick or not so well, and so on. I can actually relate to this concept as I strived for my best while still recovering from pneumonia and 2 weeks of feeling really weak and less than my usual energetic self. But Miguel also reminds us to always do our best, no more or no less, and recognize that as you learn more and as you learn to practice the 4 agreements, your best is going to improve. If you're always doing your best, there's no need to judge yourself, to feel blame or guilty. Doing your best is about taking action from that place of caring, of desire, of choice, without expecting something in return. And that's a big thing, without expecting something in return. For example, most people work because they're going to be rewarded with a paycheck. When we work only because of the paycheck, we don't do our absolute best because we typically do not bring joy and happiness to whatever that job happens to be. I've been fortunate for the most part in my life to love my work. I was self-employed a lot of my career, and I must admit it was often nice to be able to choose where I worked and set my own hours. And I always wanted to bring my best to whoever I was working for. I had a coaching client one time who was complaining about disliking her job so much that she really hated getting up in the morning and going to work. I offered to her that perhaps she could love her job for what it gave her the ability to do, to have a nice home, to eat well, to take vacations. And she came back a bit later and told me that she now enjoyed going to work, that her relationships were changing there, because now she was bringing her best self there. I suspect she was also a better employee as well, as she was trying now to do her best, making a choice, knowing that the good her work allowed her to enjoy was well worth it. Another aspect of doing your best is living in the present. You do your best with what you know at the moment. We remember not to make assumptions about the situation, so we don't take the past and bring it into the present. Rather, we live in the present and use the present information for this moment. That way, we can enjoy what's happening right now. We don't have to wish things were different. We can just accept what is, whatever's going on here and now. Don Miguel tells us in this chapter not to resist life passing through us, because that's God passing through us. And further, we have nothing to prove. What is essential is that we be the best that we can be. What I know is I'm the only one who can be the best Rev Larrye there is. And the same is true for you. What's important is that each of us learn to be totally, authentically who we are, impeccable with our word, and always doing our best. And that means we say yes when we mean yes, and we say no when we want to say no. We express ourselves and do our best always. However, it's important to remember that doing our best is not perfection. Will we always be impeccable with our word? Probably not. Will we always remember not to take things personally? Probably not. Will we always remember not to make assumptions? I doubt it. However, we can always do our best and increase the amount of time that we are impeccable with our word, and that we don't take things personally, and that we work from that place of remembering that we can't make assumptions. We need to clarify things and ask questions. Nobody is perfect, so don't expect yourself to be. So what happens when you fail to do your best? Forgive yourself. No judging or playing the victim. Forgiveness is a very important stage of doing your best. We start fresh every day and do our best for that day. There are going to be times we don't do our best. We'll fall short of being impeccable with our word, perhaps lying by omission. Or we'll take something personally and react in a way that we might regret later. Or we'll make assumptions and defend our position. What's important, I believe, is this particular question. How was that serving me? Think about that question. How was whatever that action was serving you? If we believe, which I do, that everything is God and all is in divine order, even when we fail to do our best, there's a lesson we can learn from the experience. There is a lesson we can learn from the experience. There's something we can look at to help us do better in the future. There's an interesting daily practice that I'd like to share with you, and it goes something like this. Notice sometime in the week when you start to step away from doing your best, when you're looking for the reward perhaps, rather than the satisfaction of having done something well. And now, take a breath. Settle into that quiet place within you, which always tells you the truth. And ask yourself these questions. How can I live in this moment and do my best? Is there some action I need to take right now? And if so, take the action. And finally, what am I learning about myself through this? You might be amazed at how these questions can change your life. And I also recommend that each night you review what movie you're producing for your life that day and notice where you did your best and where perhaps you didn't. Remember, we do this review without judgment, with no blame, and with an open mind to learning where we can do better and be a better producer and director of our life's movie. You might ask yourself a question something like this: what practices can help me to always do my best? Or perhaps this is a better one for you. What qualities of God might I need to be steeped in to keep me in the divine grace of doing my best? And remember to embrace how you felt and how you were being during the day, how it felt to do your best, or how it felt to fall short of doing your best, and just learn from it rather than judging yourself. If you do find yourself failing to forgive yourself and being in judgment of what you did, ask the divine what you might need to release to forgive yourself for not doing your best. And so, in summary, decide this week to always do your best. Everything is constantly changing, so your best might vary from one moment to the next, and that's perfectly okay. Live in the present. Be present to all of your life and just accept whatever's going on. Allow life, which is God, to flow through you. And be your best you. And finally, forgive yourself for falling short of perfection. Nobody's perfect. Start each day afresh and learn whatever life's lessons have for you that day. And when you go to sleep at night, let go of where you perhaps failed to do your best without judgment or blame. So here's your affirmation for the week. How is it I so easily and willingly make the choice today to always do my best, to live in the present moment, and be present to all that is my life, and to forgive myself when I fall short of perfection? So make a conscious choice this week to always do your best. Remember to ask yourself these questions. How can I live in this moment and do my best? Is there some action I need to take right now? And if there is, take it. What am I learning about myself through this? Remember, do your best and forgive yourself when you fall short of perfection. Let's pray. Just taking a deep, nourishing breath. Recognizing the presence of Spirit that is right here, right where we are. The joy, the love, the freedom, the creativity of life. That presence of infinite intelligence and profound love. The fullness of Spirit that I know is in me, flowing through me, as me. I know I am always capable of doing my best. And I release any need for perfection and forgive myself when I fall short of it. I live in this present moment, aware of all my life and all the good that surrounds me. And I am grateful to know and to remember this truth. I know that what is true for me is always true for everyone, as there is only one life. So I release this word of power into that creative law of mind, spirit, and action, knowing that it manifests for each of us right here and right now. I release it into that heart of God that always says yes, that always knows the truth of each of us. And I know that it's already done. So I just let it be. I say amen, and we affirm it together. And so it is. So I want to say again how grateful I am for all the support that continues to come our way in the way of prayers, in the way of finances coming in to help us sustain our community. I am so grateful. Enjoy our offertory song.